Hey everybody, welcome back to East Central Illinois. I'm Grant Odle, field agronomist with AgriGold. Today I'm in another cornfield and taking a look at some corn that doesn't look so pretty. Last night we got some tornado weather systems through here that also brought hail, which did a big number on our corn plants. So taking a look at this, there's two factors I want to talk about first that could ultimately impact our yield. So we want to see how much of the plant is defoliated, so how much vegetative tissue did we lose above ground, and then we want to stage it. So staging will be a little different. We're not going to count nodes, we're going to count with the droopy corn system. So essentially if a leaf is big enough to droop over, we're going to count it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So very difficult to do when things are all shredded up like this, so just do your best. And then we want to estimate what percentage of defoliation we had. Don't get too advanced with this. Essentially, we're going to estimate if it's 50, 75, or 100. I would call this 50. And then after you have those two items, you can go to Purdue's Extension. They have some charts that'll help you estimate your yield drag based on defoliation and leaf stage. So with this specific plant here, as we adjust it, this would be a 2% reduction in optimal yield. So, you know, very terrible to look at in the field, but at this stage, the plant is still relatively resilient and probably won't be a limiting factor come harvest, along with other factors that'll affect it throughout the growing season. Now, there is one other thing that we should factor into our discussion, especially in more severe situations. I'm going to grab another plant to talk about that. So I got our other plant right here, and so we talked about how defoliation and leaf stage could impact our final yield. But the other component that is going to be more prevalent as we move into more severe hailstorms is stand reduction. So the best way to evaluate that would be to come back about 7 to 10 days later after the event and find plants that look like they're struggling and try to identify how their growing point looks and if it's going to continue to be viable. The way we do that is we cut the plant in half and we go right to an apical meristem. And the way we identify that is, like I said, after we cut it open, we're going to look for this little triangle right here on the inside of the plant. Now, you only start seeing this very definitively after the V6 growth stage when you're counting nodes, and that's when it will move above ground and become vulnerable to this type of hail damage. Once we find it right here, we're just going to go in there, we're going to squeeze it, make sure it's nice and firm, and that it doesn't have a brown or a mushy appearance or texture. If that's the case, if we've got a nice firm green or yellow growing point there, that plant's going to continue to be viable, and we're going to include that in our stand count. Now, stand reduction could be a far larger driver in yield drag, so that's something that we could get into more depth if you'd like to give me a call. If this is something that you're worried about in your fields, again, feel free to reach out. Everybody stay safe, have a good rest of your